Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. I'm here with another paper, Cambridge IGCSE Computer Science, Paper 2, Algorithms, Programming and Logic. This is 0478, Paper 2-1 of October-November 2025. The duration of the paper is 1 hour 45 minutes, and you have to answer on the question paper. There are a few instructions that we have to follow. And answer all questions, use a black or dark blue pen. You may use an edgy pencil for any diagrams or graphs. You have to write your name, center number, and candidate number in the given boxes at the top of the page. Write your answer to each question in the space provided. Do not use an erasable pen or correction fluid. Do not write on any barcodes. Calculators must not be used in this paper. The paper is of 75 marks. The number of marks for each question or part question is shown in brackets. No mark will be awarded for using the brand names, so please refrain from using the brand names. Question number 1. 4 descriptions of SQL keywords and 5 4 descriptions of SQL keywords and 5 SQL keywords are given. Draw one line from each description to its matching keyword. Not all SQL keywords will be used. And now identifies the database table, sets the condition, sorts the results, returns the number of records. So these are your 5 descriptions, and the SQL keywords are order by, count, where, sum, from. Let's start. What is going to be identifies the database table? It's going to be from. Which table to get the data from? Sets the conditions. That is the where clause. Sorts the result. You have order by. And lastly, it returns the number of records. It is count. The number of records are returned, so that is count. It means sum is not to be used in any of the situations, any of the descriptions, and you are going to score 4 out of 4. Question number 2. Identify 3 different types of test data that can be used to test a program. So they have simply asked you to identify a normal, abnormal, stream, boundary written for reference. Otherwise, if you have written any of these 3, then you will be able to score 3 out of 3. Question number 3. Tick one box to identify the operator that returns the quotient of a calculation with the fractional part discarded. So, which one is the right one? The symbol for division, div, the symbol for power, or mod? So which is the right option? Quotient is returned by div. In this manner, you will score 1 out of 1. Question number 4. A restaurant offers a fixed priced menu. A meal for an adult costs $9.99 and a meal for a child costs $6.99. If there are 6 or more people at a table, a 15% discount is applied to the total cost of the order. Write an algorithm in pseudocode to input the number of adults and the number of children at a table, calculate the total cost of the order with the discounts if this applies, outputs the final cost of the order. Now, this is a pseudocode that is dealing with a few things that you need to include, and it's a 5-mark question. So how will you score? If you have input the number of adults and children properly, if you have performed the calculation of total without discount, and after that you have checked the total people are 6 or more, and if that is the case, apply the discounts to total, and finally output the total. So if you have included in your answer all these 5 main points, then you will be able to score for 5 out of 5. Just an example pseudocode is here so that you can understand that this is one example. And if whenever there are alternates available, they are also mentioned for you. So you can answer accordingly, or you can prepare yourself accordingly. First thing is output. Please enter the number of adults and input taken in a variable, as you can see, adult. Although the variables are not mentioned, but you need to take the variable which depicts its nature, and adult itself is very clearly indicating that we want the input in the variable adult. Then after that, another input is, like you can see, these two lines are going to help in taking the input of adult, and then these two lines are going to help in inputting the number of children, and variable may be a child. Total is calculated. As we saw, adult meal was 9.99 per person. So that is why if the number of adults were 2, for example, so 2 multiplied by 9.99 will give you the total cost for the meal of the adults. And then plus child into 6.99, because the meal for children was 6.9 per child, and that is why we have simply multiplied and the two values together, and we have placed them in the proper brackets. After that, we are done with this one. We are simply going through the same if condition, and we are just checking if adult plus child is greater than or equal to 6. So you can see this is what is highlighted here also for you to understand. If there are six or more people, then a discount of 15% is applied to the total cost. So this is what we have already handled: 6.99 for the child and 9.99 for adult. Then 6 or more people is also checked here. We can see if adult plus child is greater than or equal to 6, then a 15% discount is applied. How do we do it? There are different ways of handling the same calculation of the total. One is total assignment operator total minus total into 15%, as you can see, 15 upon 100. And the child can do this in the manner of 0.15. That's perfectly okay. Or another child can simply say 15% discount avail means 85% is paid, and he can do it with total into 0.85, or he can say total into 85 upon 100. So there are different ways in which the total can be calculated, and in the end output the total cost is, and then total. Again, these lines, this is just a example pseudocode. So a child can write in any style. If he has included in his answer all the important points, then he will be able to score 5 out of 5. Part B. The final cost of the order after the discount may have more than two decimal places. Write a pseudocode statement to set the final cost of the order to two decimal places. You do not need to write the whole algorithm. So you can see there are 2 marks. It means there's mark for this part where you have written it accurately, total assignment operator, then round total comma 2. So in this manner, you will be able to score 2 out of 2. You have to apply the round function on the same variable total. Please do not change the variable as you have used here. So just keep in mind the same variable to be used in your answer in part B also. And comma 2 means that it will be applied to 2 decimal places, and the resultant value will be written back to the variable total. And in this manner, you will be able to score 2 out of 2. Now, the same question and part C. The restaurant offers a discount on a meal if the person ordering is either a student or is 65 years or older. A student, that is rule A. So rule A is linked with student. If a student, it's a 0. If not a student, it's a 1. Rule B is applied on the condition of years. Under 65 years old, the value will be represented as a 0. 65 or older is a 1. Now, the third thing, the discount x equals to 1 can only be given if the amount of the order is $20 or over. $20 or over is depicted as a 1. We are asked to write the logic expression for this problem. So you can see this is highlighted here. Student is a 0, means not A. Then we have an O because we have obtained this O from here. As you can see, is either a student or is 65 years or older. So or is coming from here. 65 years or older is rule B, and rule B is a 1. So that is why we say not A or B. This is in bracket, and the word and is here because the discount x is 1 can only be given if the amount of the order is 20 or above. That is why 20 or over is rule C, and that is shown as a 1. That's why it's and C. I hope that's very much clear, indicated with highlighted also for you to comprehend. Student, a 0 means not A. 65 years or older is a 1, means O, B, and lastly, it is the condition for rule C is $20 or over. In all cases, that's why it will be and C. This is the diagram that we have. And after that, we have to draw a logic circuit for this logic expression. So each logic gate must have a maximum of two inputs, must have a maximum of two inputs. Now let's draw not A or B. So what are we doing is we are getting one signal coming from A and we are drawing a NOT gate here. NOT gate is drawn. After that, it is connected to the OR gate. And this OR gate is getting the next input from B. So we are drawing a circuit. We are drawing a line from B, and this will go to the OR gate. So this is the representation of not A or B. This is going to give you out of 3 at least 2 marks. Then after that, it's AND C. It means I have to draw the AND gate. And this AND gate will be getting one signal coming from the result. And now this is AND C. And another signal is going to come from C here. And we are going to draw it like this. So that will be AND C. So you can see not A or B going to the AND gate, and then C, we're getting the signal from C. This AND gate is getting one signal from C, and this is going to be your resultant, and you will be able to score 3 out of 3. Part D. Draw the NAND logic gate symbol and complete the truth table for it. So first of all, NAND gate or not AND gate. So what are we supposed to draw? We can see we're going to draw, this is the box for you. The AND. After that, NAND is drawn. The result is here. And you can, if you really want, you can mention A, B, and X also for a better display, for a better answer. And this is the completion of your drawing the NAND symbol. After that, you have to make the truth table. So you know 0 and 0 is a 0. The reversal of 0 will be a 1. Similarly, 0 and 1 is a 0. And we are reversing it to get a 1 here. 1 and 0 is also a 0. Reversing will get a 1. And 1 and 1 is a 1. Reverse will give you a 0. Notting performed on the AND gate will give you this final result. And this is your final answer. And in this manner, you will be able to score 2 out of 2. Question number 5. A hotel booking system is an example of a computer system that is made up of subsystems. The booking system allows the user to select the room type of the number of allows the user to select the room type and the number of nights required. It prompts you, allows the user to select. It means that he can input, displays the types of rooms available to the user as a picture or as a list. So these are the two requirements that are dealing with the display. Complete the structure diagram for the given parts of the hotel booking system. Hotel booking system is drawn for you and you are supposed to complete the structure diagram for that. So how will you score the marks? There are marks that you have used the suitable hierarchical structure. You will be scoring 1 mark for that. There are suitable names that are given for the subsystems. for the input or the display, then you will be scoring another mark for that. If you are using the, like, 1 mark is going to be awarded for subsystems for user inputs, like room type and the number of nights, as we have highlighted from here. Another mark is going to be yours, and the last mark will be in case if you have mentioned it for the display as pictures or as list. Now, this is just an example. As you can see, 4 marks. Hotel booking system is already drawn for you. So after that, if you have written input and output, these are your two subsystems. And these are further classified into room type, number of nights as we have figured out, and then pictures and list as we have figured out for output. And in this manner, within 2 or 3 minutes, 4 marks are going to be yours. Just learn the technique and it will not be difficult for you at all. Question number 6. A check digit is one method to validate a 5-digit number. The check digit for a 5-digit number is calculated as follows. Each digit is multiplied by its position. The first digit on the left is position 1. The result of each multiplication is totaled. Mod total comma 11 is used to calculate the check digit. If the result of the mod function is 10, the check digit is x. For example, now they've given an example of one question. For example, now the calculation of the check digit for the 5-digit number 304475 is as follows. Multiply each digit by its position, and total the result. So you can see 3 is on position number 1, multiplied by 1, then 0 is position number 2, multiplied by 2, 4 is in position number 3, multiplied by 3, 7 is in position number 4, multiplied by 4, 5 is in position number 5, multiplied by 5. Remember, we are starting from the positions from the leftmost side. And when we have multiplied the values and added the result is 68. Now we are calculating the check digit by simply performing the mod. As you can see here, mod total comma 11 and 68 applied with mod, it will give you the remainder of 2, and that is why the check digit is going to be 2. Now this whole is given to us because they want us to find out some errors in the pseudocode, and you can see first of all they have given you one example, and then algorithm is given, then they have given you an example to understand how it works, and then the pseudocode is written for us. So you can see here the pseudocode algorithm should calculate and output the check digit of a 5-digit number, and after that they prompt you to have to identify the line numbers which are containing errors here. Let's start. Declare line number 1, declare total integer, declare digit integer, declare check digit char. 4, line number 4 is total equals to 0. Line number 5, for count, assignment operator 1 to 10. Then we are asked to input the value output. Please enter digit comma count. Like first time it will be 1, then 2. In this manner, the value of count is changing. So the message is also going to display the position. Input digit. Now line number 8, total, assignment operator total plus digit divided by count. Next count, check digit equals to mod total comma 11. If check digit equals to 10, then output the check digit is x, else output the check digit is count. And if you have to identify the lines that contain an error, okay, you want to do it yourselves very quickly. Come on, start identifying the errors, and we'll discuss them together. Okay, figured out? Line number 1 correct, line number 2 correct, line number 3. Okay, great, Ali, that you have identified that error is here in line number 3. It's not char, it should be integer, as it's the case with other variables as integer. Similarly, this one should be an integer also. Line number 4, total equals to 0, correct? Then for count equals to 1 to 10. That is wrong because we have just discussed it is a 5-digit number. It means 1 to 5 is not possible. 1 to 5 is the right answer. 1 to 10 is incorrect. Then output, please enter digit count, input digit, and total, assignment operator total plus digit divided by count. We just observed it was multiplication that was performed. It means that this is also an error here. Line number 8 is also an error. Then check digit performed properly, and next count is also positioned properly. And if check digit equals to 10, then output check digit is X, else output the check digit is not count. It should be displaying the value of the computed check digit, and that is why this is again incorrect. So it means line number 15 has an error, and then NDIF is here, and these are the 4 errors that are identified properly. And let's see how will you write them down and how will you do it. Error 1 is in line number 3, and that is a requirement that just for the purpose of understanding, I've written this for you also so you can understand that this is what the error is, and the correction is going to be declare check digit colon integer. Line number 5 had an error, as we observed for count equals to 1 to 10 was wrong. It should be for count equals to 1 to 5. Then third error is in line number 8, as we found total assignment operator total plus digit divided by count is incorrect. It should be total assignment operator total plus digit into count. Error 4 is in line number 15, as we found. It should be it should not be count to be displayed. It should be the check digit is check digit. The variable is check digit and it should be displayed here. In this manner, you have identified 4 errors and 4 marks are going to be yours. Part B. Explain how you could modify the pseudocode to validate that each input is a single digit. You can see a person can enter any value here by mistake also. And this pseudocode that is written here is not taking into account that the input should be a single digit. Any code used must be fully explained. So how will you do it? After the for loop, but before the total, after line 7, you have to use a condition control loop, and be clear the use of a repeat until or a while loop is going to be feasible here because we are just going for a validation check. We are just ensuring that it should be a single digit. And we are going to see that whether the number entered should be between 0 to 9. And if that is not the case, we have to go for a re-input. Very rightly said, that is basically your range check. So the value entered should be between 0 to 9, as we have learned. So application of the range check, keeping in mind the value entered is 0 to 9. That's all. And for that, the repeat until or while do and while is the best choice, or you can say the conditional loop is the best choice, and 3 marks are going to be yours. The 5-digit number needs to be entered as a single input. Describe one verification method that could be applied to the input of this 5-digit number. It's verification, and verification is going to be either visual check or double entry. So you can see here visual check. Describe means to look at the data that has been entered and confirm it matches with the original document. And double entry, enter the same data twice, and it will only accept if the two values that are entered are identical. In case if they're not matching, then it will be definitely going to be considered as an incorrect answer. Hope that it's very clear to everyone. Okay, question number 7. The flowchart represents an algorithm, and this is the flowchart. Let's see. This is the flowchart. It starts with a start, count, assignment operator 0 means count is 0, input number, value, assignment operator count in number, is value less than or equal to 100, yes, so it is count equals to count plus 1, no, count equals to count minus 1, output count, and stop. Let's see. Now, what is the question? Complete the table using the flowchart for the given data. The first data input is 20. So let's start. I'll start with this one and then I'll be expecting you people to continue. So let's see. The first one is count equals to 0. What am I doing here is I'm writing count equals to 0. And then it says out input number is 20, so it will be entered here. The column for number will hold 20. After that, the third box says value assignment operator count into number. So what is count? The value of count is 0 and multiply by number. So if I just put this one for you people to comprehend, 0 into 20. So to 0 into 20, you know very well, anything multiplied by 0 will always going to give you a 0. So the answer will be a 0 here. Then it will be, is value less than or equal to 100? Is the value less than or equal to 100? You can see yourself, the value is 0. 0 is less than or equal to 100. Condition is true. So in this case, the value is going to be, the value of count will be increased by 1, and the same process will be repeated. The value of count will be increased by 1, and the same process will now be repeated. Now you can see count equals to count plus 1, count becomes 1, and then value assignment operator, count into number, count into number. Now it is going to be, this is your value, 1 into 20 will be 20 here. Then one into 20 will be 20 here. Then in this manner, we'll continue. Is value less than or equal to 100? Again, the condition is true, so the value of count will be increased by 1. It will become 2 here. Then it will be multiplied. The number value remains the same. So it will be value equals to count into number, and the same process will be repeated. So let's do it here from here. Now value of count is 2 and the value of number is still the same. So 2 into 20 will be 40 here. Now in this manner, the value of count will be increased by 1 because still the value of less is less than or equal to 100. So 3 times 20 is 60. So this value of 60 will come in the variable value here. Then again, the value of count is still 60 is less than or equal to 100. So the value of count will be increased by 1 again, and it will be 4 into 20 will be 80. And still the value of your count is still less than or equal to 100. So that is why it will move again. The value of count will be increased by 1, it will become 5. And then 5 times 20 is equal to 100. So you can see. Now, let's move back to our flowchart. You can see value is holding 100 and is value less than or equal to 100? Less than or equal to 100, still the condition is true. That's why it will move up and the value of count will still be increased by 1 and will become 6. Now 6 times 20 is 120. So you can see it's 120 now, and if it moves back, now the condition is now false. So that is why the value of count will be decreased by 1 and output count will display the result of, it will now decrease by 1. So it means it will become 5. Minus 1 will make it 5. And then it will be displaying the value of count. The value of count means 5 will be displayed here. Now this is one that I did for you. Another one is input data, another input data. So let's do it very quickly and then we'll see that whether our answers are matching or not. Let me show you this one. The value of count is going to be starting with 0 and the input number is 110. And let's see how quickly you are able to accomplish the task. Let me do it for you. This part only. 110 is the number input, and come on, let's do it. Yes, done now. Let's do the same thing as we did. Count 0, input number is 110. So value equals to count into number. Value equals to count into number. 0 into 110 will be a 0 here. Then we move down. Is value less than or equal to 100? Now you can see the value is the condition met. Now input number and count value equals to count into number. Is value less than or equal to 100? You can see the value is still, it's no. Is value less than or equal to 100? What is in value? Value will be holding 0. Is value less than or equal to 100? Yes, condition is true. So it will move to the right hand side and the value of count will be increased by 1 and the value of count will become 1. So 1 into 110 will be 110 and the value of variable value will be 110 and the second will be matched again. You can see the value is going to be now holding 110 and this time the value is not less than or equal to 100. So it will be moving down and the value of count will be decreased by 1 and you will be having a value of 0 here. And the same value will be output in the output column. So in this manner, if you have written the accurate answers for the two dry run tables, then you will be scoring 4 out of 4. Part B. State the purpose of the algorithm on page 8. A copy of the algorithm is provided for you on page number 11. So you can see what is happening here. So it's a 1 mark question and a child can write any of the answers. He can say use of div algorithm, or he can say performs integer division, or he can say this pseudocode is meant, or this flowchart is meant to find how many times the number goes into 100. Any of this answer written will give you the full 1 mark. State a suitable data type for the variable count. You can see count is meant for performing the calculations and storing the integer value. That's why the best answer for this will be integer and you will be able to score 1 out of 1. Now write the algorithm in pseudocode. A copy of the algorithm is provided for you on page number 11. Now we have to write the pseudocode. So there are two different ways a child can write the answer and they both are written for you to comprehend. It's a 4 mark question. And how will you score actually? If the child has declared the variable count, initializing the count with like proper, I can say, proper keyword, use of div, and with correct parameters, he will be able to score 4 out of 4. Let's see. Declare count integer, count equals to 0, input number, count, assignment operator, div, 100 comma number. So please be clear, the same syntax is supposed to be used to score full marks. And then output count, because this count will be holding the number of times it has been divided, or a child can use a while loop here, and for that a while loop or a repeat until loop. Declare count, use of repeat until or while loop with correct condition being handled, and then if he has output the value of counter properly, then he will be able to score again 4 out of 4. So if you are okay with repeat until or while, then that is the best choice. So input number, after declaring the count and count initializing input number, we have simply calculated value, assignment operator counted to number, while value less than or equal to 100 do. Count equals to count plus 1, value equals to count into number, and while. And then after the loop has ended, we are decreasing the value of count by 1. It becomes like in -1, and then we are outputting the value of count. So if a child has used a repeat until or a while loop, that's perfectly okay. Or if he is well versed, he can use the diff also library function and he will be able to score the marks also. I hope that there's no problem. Yes, so this is an example copy provided for reference and you can use this one also. Question number 8. A school has set up a database table school trip to record details of students that will go on a school trip. I can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 fields. State the reason why parent's name is not appropriate as the primary key. So you can see for yourself, the primary key should be holding unique values and parent name can be duplicated. So that is why parent name can be repeated. It is not holding unique values. A right answer is going to be any one and you'll be able to score 1 out of 1. Give the name of the field that should be the primary key. It's student ID. The database only uses these data types, and the data types are text, character, Boolean, integer, real, and datetime. Complete the table to show the most appropriate data type for each field. Parent name, it's text. Permission. Now you can see, looking at the data, date received and permission, and looking at the data, we can determine very clearly that permission is holding true, false, and that's why it will be Boolean. And date received is holding the date, so a child can write. Um, for this one, it's perfectly one option only, text. But permission, a child can say Boolean, very good. But a child can even write text. That will be also accepted. And date received, best is date time, or child can say text also, and that will be considered as a correct answer also. Part D. Complete the SQL statement to display only the names of the students who do not have permission to go on the trip. Now we can say we are asked to only we are asked to only mention the student name who have not gone for the school trip. Select student name from school trip, the table name where permission equals to false. And that will give you 2 out of 2. Question number 9. A school stores all the students' attendance data in the file called attendance.txt. Write an algorithm in pseudocode to read a line of a text from the file and stores this line in the variable student attendance. Very clearly written. It's a 4-mark question. So how will a child score the marks? If he is opening the file attendance.txt correctly, like in the right mode for read, he is using the read file statement and storing the line of text into the variable student attendance and then closing the file. So this is how you can see. Just an example, open file attendance.txt for read, that will give you 1 mark. Read file attendance.txt comma student attendance will give you 2 marks. And in the end, you're closing the file properly, that will give you the third and the final answer, and the third and the final point, final mark. And this is how you can see open file attendance.txt, the same file. Please be clear, not even a single change of anything should be like in a part of your statement. Open file attendance.txt for read. The mode should be read. Then read file, since we are opening it in read mode, that's why read file. What? Attendance.txt, comma, student attendance, the variable. Please be careful. The variables are supposed to be used in the same manner as they are written. S and A capital, be cautious. After that, we are done with this. We simply close the file by using the close file statement, close file attendance.txt, and that will give me 4 out of 4. Question number 10. The variables seconds and minutes are used in a program. Seconds hold the number of seconds as a whole number, and minutes holds the number of minutes as a whole number. Write pseudocode statements to declare the variables seconds and minutes. So you can see from here, we determine the number of seconds and the number of minutes as a whole number. So it has to be integer. Like we cannot use any other variable data type except for integer. And be careful, the use of the same variables as are mentioned in your question. So declare seconds integer, declare minutes colon integer will give you 1 mark. Now, let's see part B. The procedure time total seconds. The procedure time total seconds. So from here, we determine that this is going to be its parameter, correct? Here, very nice, Ali, and that's really good that you are paying attention. Takes the number of seconds as a parameter. The procedure converts the value held in parameter into minutes and seconds and outputs the result. So input is in seconds, and the work of the procedure is to convert the total seconds into minutes and seconds, and then mention the number of minutes and mention the number of seconds. So this is how we write this procedure in pseudocode. How will you score the marks? It's a 4-mark question. If you have written the right method, if you have used the right method for write in the procedure name, procedure and end procedure using the right parameter. It will give you 1 mark. Another one is going to be and for calculating the minutes properly, and the mark will be awarded for calculating the seconds properly. And later, the last mark is for using the output statement to display the number of minutes and seconds properly. So let's start. Procedure time, that is what is written for me. Total seconds integer, this is its declaration, the same as we found from here. Time is the name of the procedure, the same, it remains the same. Total seconds remain the same, and it's the data type integer as we observe from here. The number of seconds, and the number of seconds will be an integer value, that's why the data type is integer. And then end procedure. Inside this, we are performing the calculation. So that is the only thing that you need to be careful about. Like let's give you an example. Assume that the person has passed on the value as 160. So what is going to happen? The use of mod and div is used here. So 160, just an example. Now, seconds will be computed in this manner by using mod, and minutes are going to be using div. So let's start. 160 is the number that is passed on as a parameter, and we are performing the division, and this is what is done here. So you can see it's minutes, assignment operator div, total seconds, comma 60. Total seconds is 160. So we are going to divide this by 60, and you know 60 times 60 times 2 is going to be giving you the value of 120, and the result of div is going to be 2 here, as you can see. It will be 2. Just to make you understand, is going to be 2 here, and it will be for seconds it will be 40. So isn't it 2 minutes and 40 seconds if you do it ourselves? Like if this 160 seconds is passed on as a parameter, and 160 seconds means 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So in this manner, the use of div and mod will help me in finding out the minutes and the seconds, and then you can use any method, like you can use output together. The number of minutes is the minutes, and then comma seconds you can mention. That's perfectly okay. Output statement, either you write it in separate lines or you write them together, up to you. You write the say variable first and the message later, that is also perfectly okay. So this is the main thing. Passing on the parameter value, writing it properly, end procedure, calculations of minutes and seconds, and then output. So in this manner, 4 marks are going to be awarded to you. I hope that you have understood this whole paper. Jazakallah khair Kasira for being a part of the learning journey. Hope that you have been watching the videos that are being uploaded quite frequently. Just let me know whichever video you want me to work on, and share with your friends and family so that they all are going to benefit from it. Take very good care of yourselves and the loved ones. May Allah bless you. May Allah help you. Allah Hafiz.